Hello everyone, Namaste. My name is Elijah. Thank you for watching this video. Right. Today my guest is Liang, who is one of Singapore's top face reader as well as a Chinese metaphysician. Thank you very much, Max, for agreeing to come on my talk show and sharing with us your expertise. Could you tell a little bit about yourself to the audience, a bit of your background, history, how you got involved in being a Chinese metaphysician, teaching feng shui and numerology, as well as physiognomy or the art of face reading?
Thanks, Elijah, for having me here. Thank you very
welcome.
much.
Yeah.
And very good day to all of you. My name is Liang, and basically I'm considered a Chinese metaphysician, feng shui master. I do this so-called life path reading as well. And technically, face reading is actually one of my hobby for a long time. And since I'm in the Chinese metaphysics line, I've actually put it across as one of my forte as well. Alright, so how do I start?
You actually use a combination of all this face reading, numerology, and feng shui into reading someone's life path. You don't just use one technique, but you would say that face reading is one of your strengths.
One of my strengths, right? Yes.
How is it that you got interested in doing something like this?
Alright, it started way back, something like 20 years back when I started working and I was doing sales. And technically, as a salesman, you would want to have a method to actually decipher,
access someone's
whether they'll buy, whether they'll spend, what kind of spender they are, whether they're stingy or whether they're quite easy
generous.
With the money.
Yes.
So with this sort of knowledge, it actually helps with the kind of work that I do. Gradually, I so-called use it as a tool, and gradually the kind of interest actually slowly grew, and I pick up more and more of it. And initially started off with just books, with some videos that's actually available out there, alright, especially from Hong Kong. And gradually I progressed to learn from various masters and went through a few certifications.
That's awesome. You know how an interest can turn into a very practical skill that you can apply every day in your life to access people. It could be partners, romantic partners, business partners, or colleagues. It could be anyone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Just by meeting them, as they say, just a couple of seconds of meeting someone for the first time, you can access them.
Usually, what we do is we assess a person within the first 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Yeah,
yes.
and we basically need to be that quick because of the first impressions actually last. So when we see them, the first 5 seconds we assess them.
Yeah. And
right at the moment when you say the first hello, you got to present yourself according to their
correct.
So that is how we actually do the first step.
Yeah. Would you say it's a bit can be a bit superficial sometimes, because sometimes there's a saying goes, do not judge a book by its cover. So sometimes, even myself, usually I feel like quite accurate if I use my intuition and just looking at someone's outer appearance and also using my intuition to sense their energies. I usually have a very good assessment of who they are. Yes. But there are some occasions that I've actually been wrong, and the longer I know that person, I realize that my first impressions actually were not accurate. So what do you say to something like this? Don't you think it's just always a bit just not right to judge someone just by their features alone?
Alright, when we first meet a person, we always make a judgment, regardless whether we like it or not.
Yes.
And they'll do likewise.
Yes, correct.
And so we want to present the best part of us, the best side of us to them, as well as knowing what they like.
Yes.
And generally, when we do this, we actually so-called up the kind of attraction level.
Yes.
We basically get more comfortable with each other and easier for us to actually converse. Now, when it may be a bit superficial when you assess a person so fast.
Yes.
Yeah. But as the relationship form, definitely you'll spend time communicating with them, having conversation with them, and ultimately you'll find them in greater detail what sort of person they are. But generally, if you use face reading, you know what sort of character.
Yeah, I would say it's more or less, right? It's 80% or higher, more accurate.
80% or so you get the character, and you're able to so-called pinpoint what they
Correct.
the person they are.
Because you're right, because sometimes we do not have the luxury or privilege to get to know them at a deeper level. So the skill of face reading allows us to quickly access them. Right? Of course, when if you do have the luxury to get to know them deeper, right, other dimensions, aspects of their character will shine and show through. Right? So, would you consider physiognomy an art or a science? Or is it both?
Alright, physiognomy is both an art and science. It takes a long time to actually learn about physiognomy because of the nuances, the various so-called mixed morphology. Alright, and on top of that, there's actually quite a lot of details that you need to memorize because once there's actually a tiny change, you need to pick up what sort of differences there are. But the thing is this, when a person subconsciously think of a process or a thought, alright, it actually affects them in terms of their behavior and character.
Yes.
And because of that, it actually shows on the face itself.
As well.
And once the face is actually shown, basically it actually so-called fixes the character at that moment. But the thing about this is, the subconscious affect the facial features, alright? But if you want to change the facial features, it's possible because once you change your mindset, you change the facial features.
I see. So energetically, at the cellular level, your face changes. Just kind of like when you look at the photos of a cell, it always look different, it always transform. Right. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of transformation and change, let's say someone doesn't like their features and what their features means and how it relates to the outside world and how people react to them. If they go for, say, plastic surgery or cosmetic surgery to change their features, does it alter their destiny and fate and personality?
Alright, that is a very good question. Yes. Because ultimately, destiny and fate, probably we do not so-called 100% fix it in terms of a person being born with their so-called DNA traits.
Yes.
Alright, it actually determines that DNA, determines that destiny. But how well they actually achieve, because destiny is actually a certain range. Alright. Now how well they actually hit is, they could be at the upper range or lower range, depending on the mindset, the behavior, and the personality. So if they are able to adopt a personality that is suitable for the environment, suitable for the social circle itself, it actually will help them to achieve greater results.
I see.
And technically, it sort of, in a way, it improves the luck
yes.
and improves the way, the success.
Or it could be the reverse, it can actually make it worse, actually, right?
Definitely, definitely.
Right. I see.
So, cosmetic surgery does work.
Yeah.
Because if you change your outlook, you make yourself look better.
Right.
Psychologically, in terms of your self-confidence, your outlook in life, it actually changes.
Shifts.
And because it shifts energetically, mentally, things actually change.
For you.
It is very different.
Yeah. Right, but so it's actually a touchy subject. You can make it worse or better depending on what you do with it.
Yes.
Alright, so it was the same thing for like moles. People, I'm sure people come to you, I got this mole, what does it mean? Right, should I remove it? And then there are lucky moles, unlucky moles. What are your thoughts on this?
Generally, when we refer to moles, they are actually the precursors to so-called cancer.
Yes.
They're actually precursors to something that actually goes wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when the mole forms, even if you remove it surgically and cosmetically, it doesn't help at all because it has already formed. The precursor is already formed. Right. Now, but of course, again, just like plastic surgery, if you find that the mole is actually on your face and it's actually interfering with your looks, and by removing it, it actually improves your so-called self-confidence.
Yeah.
It does work.
I see. Well. So in general, it's preferable to remove moles. Right?
Depending on where they are, depending on what sort of colors. And if you want to remove moles, probably you might actually want to be to know which one to remove because some of them are actually good moves.
Yeah, so you need to find an expert like him before you remove your moles, okay? But in general, I recall that the majorities are bad, but there are always exceptions, and there's some are actually good and can actually bring you good fortunes and luck. Right, speaking of this, don't you think it's a bit arbitrary? Because people say, you got big fat nose means you got very wealthy, you got long, big earlobes means you got long life. Like, who comes up with this kind of rules? Who decides that? It kind of feels arbitrary to me,
Generally, it comes from way back.
Ancient times.
Hundreds of years back, in the royal palaces, they actually have this group of people, metaphysicians, that actually look at people and they make comparisons, they make statistic analysis of them. People with certain character traits actually are actually richer. So people with certain character traits, they're more cunning, they're not truthful, and so on and so forth. So basically, it's actually a process whereby they're just basically looking at the character trait, comparing with the so-called social norms.
Yes, and they find that after time, they find there seems to be a recurring pattern.
Yes, it's a consistent pattern.
I see.
Yeah.
No, I do find that to be true in general, And so, okay, let's have some fun. Right, tell me about my personality just by looking at my face. A couple of things about me.
Couple of things about my face. We know generally you're a very straightforward person, quite honest, alright, kind-hearted, like somebody who's very helpful and very keen to learn all the time. So a very learned, intelligent person to start off with. Alright, very good networking and friends. So you do have very strong features like your nose, your cheekbone. And your mouth is actually very nice as well.
Thank you. You're all right. He was very accurate in what his assessment of my personality, as I know myself to be. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, next, could you tell us a little bit of what kind of clientele and what kind of people usually come to you?
In fact, my clientele varies quite a lot. We do have men on the streets, and they're actually coming to me because certain things doesn't work as well.
Yes.
I do have the other extremes, whereby I do get business owners, really rich guys, and they come to me because they want to be better, richer. They realize that certain part of their life is not that balanced, and they actually wanted to find a way to actually help them to become so-called more balanced. Right? And some of them would like to grow spiritually as well, and they also look for me for certain guidance as well.
That's awesome. Right, speaking of that, could you tell us what are some of your upcoming projects or developments or workshops that you have upcoming in the future?
Okay. Now, I do have a place where I conduct workshops, and workshops are actually running almost every month. And it actually I do have face reading workshops, numerology workshops, as well as function workshops. So it does depend on my schedule.
Yeah, because you travel a lot.
Because I travel a lot. Right now, I do quite a lot of traveling in Malaysia and China.
Yes, he's very in demand, right? In order to get this video interview, right, I had to we had planned this for several months already. I've been trying to contact him again and again. He's always overseas and it's very hard to get him. So, it's like I first contacted you half a year ago, and now only half a year later it's free to have this interview. So, very good. very in demand, metaphysician for sure. Yeah.
So gradually, the next step for me would be probably coming down the road probably next year. I will be coming up with a book as well.
Yeah, interesting. What's this book about?
It will be talking about just based on your birth date in terms of numerology, how it actually deciphers you. Yes. And it sort of encompasses a certain portion in terms of feng shui.
Yes. And
it sort of helps you to so-called improve your health, improve your own personality, your outlook in life.
Yes.
And generally, it's a self-help book for self-improvement.
Wonderful. We look forward to hearing more about the book and eventually buying it and reading it, because it can help in so many areas of life, our careers, our health, our relationships, our money. So. Thank you again, Max. Right? Could you tell the audience where can they go to find out about your workshops, or to hire you, or to contact you for more information?
Oh, okay. I can give my own personal mobile phone, right?
Yes.
Yep. My personal contact number is at +65 8201 4488, and my webpage is at www.insights with an S -academy.com. Alright, the schedules will be posted up, and if you're keen to go for the workshop as well, you could actually look through the Udemy sites and the Eventbrite sites, and you can probably see some of the workshops that are posted up on Eventbrite.
Awesome. Alright, I'll be placing all these links below this video, so you feel free to click on them to explore what Max has to offer you. Alright, thank you again, Max, for coming onto my talk show. And It's good to finally have you after
Thank you for
recording
having
you
me.
for such a so
Thank you
many
for having
months,
me.
for such a long time. Right, we hope to have you again in one of my future videos to speak about Chinese metaphysics or other topics, or
Yeah,
to
sure.
launch a new book.
Sure.
Alright, thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting videos.
Thank you very much.